sorry about that, Earth signs. I wanted to get my picture as crisp as possible. So, this is going to be the Earth signs reading for this week. These are timeless readings, so whenever it resonates with you, whenever you find this, that means the time is right. So, before we get started, if this reading does resonate with you, I am available to give personal readings at several different price points. That information is down in the description box below. I will be using for the readings today the Book of Thoth tarot deck. This is not the Crowley deck, obviously. This was created by somebody who went by the name Etela. So it's an Etela style deck. Let me see if I can find one of the cards. It's Ettella, if you wanted to look it up. And I think that Llewellyn just released a version of this deck. Obviously, many reprints of his decks have been made throughout the years. Oh, here we go. Perfect. So this is the word Etela, and it is a name for God. And it is also this style of deck that this person created back in the 1800s. So there's the title card for that. And I'm also going to be using the Flower Magic Oracle deck. I'll pull a card for each of the signs. So we'll be doing today the Earth signs. We'll be doing Virgo. We will be doing Taurus. Taurus first, then Virgo. And then we will be doing Capricorn. And then we'll do Capricorn. And the wonderful thing about this deck is that it gives you magical uses for all of the flowers included in the deck. So that's very nice. That's a nice touch. And then when we get ready to do the extended crystal scrying over on the member side of the channel, this is the crystal I'll be using for that. It is a rainbow moonstone. You can see it's got a beautiful flash to it. So if that interests you, you are cordially invited. But first, Earth signs, let's relax. Just kind of let anything that's troubling you, allow it to kind of float to the surface of your consciousness. Don't fixate on any of it. Don't be overly concerned about it or fretful. Just let it sit there and wait patiently so we can address it in the reading. And I'm going to use this selenite wand. And I'm just going to kind of sweep it over your auric field. And this is going to clear the space. It's going to get us ready to do the readings. All right. Selenite is a very wonderful, powerful, energetically cleansing stone. It's very good for cleansing. And it never needs to be cleaned itself. It transmutes energy. And it looks a bit like fiber optic cable, right? That's how it transmutes the energy. And I have wrapped this one in copper wire just to give it a little bit of extra conductivity. So just take a few deep cleansing breaths. As you inhale, imagine yourself taking in the divine white light of Source. And then as you exhale, just release any tension, any nervousness, any anxiety that you have been holding on to that is no longer serving you. Okay? Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. You are doing a great job. Great job, great job, great job. All right, so now I'm going to take out the cards. I'm going to start shuffling them. And we will begin with the sign of Taurus. So Taurus, if you would, just kind of set your intention. Just relax, sit back. Allow any concerns that you have, as I mentioned, to just sort of bubble up to the forefront of your consciousness. And just wait there gently while we do the reading. There we go. All right. And pull one of these. Okay, here we go. I haven't looked at it yet either. Oh, interesting. Taurus, interesting. Very interesting. So let me write down your timestamp. And I will be putting the timestamps down in the description once the live stream is over. So Taurus, the card that you got from the Flower Magic Oracle is Astrantia. and it has to do with darkness. One thing it's important to note is that, excuse me, I apologize. Uh, the darkness often provides a much needed contrast to the light. So we need darkness to sleep. We need darkness to rest. Sometimes we need darkness to hide. Sometimes we need it to process our emotions and thoughts. Let's see what the book has to say about it. It also gives good guidance for using in one's spell work. So, just what I said, the darkness exists to balance the light. Too much of one or the other upsets the apple cart. Astrantia itself has a luminescence to it. It's a shining beacon, but it grows in the shade. We all experience that feeling of being left in the dark on occasion, and it can be soul destroying if you battle against it. But sometimes it's good to just let that happen. Allowing yourself to wallow completely in the dark isn't advisable because you are in control, you really are. Get out, call for help, find things that you love in situations that make you happy and pursue them. It's not easy, but the alternative is such a waste of time. And remember, you're never alone. So if you are using Astrantia in your magical working, you can cut off the flower heads and dry them and keep them indoors for a winter display and bring a little light to dark days. You can use it in magical workings to help lift depression and bring about the balance between dark and light. And you can meditate with it and allow yourself to delve deep between the petals to find enlightenment. It's a very complex blossom. So, very good for that kind of spell work. All right, so Taurus, let's get into your reading. We'll be starting here in the past. And we have the Two of Pentacles in the reverse. So it looks like you had brought everything in your life into balance at some point in the recent past. We have up here letter. So you might also be receiving some correspondence about something. That's possible. Let's look at the current state of business for you, Taurus. So we have the Five of Cups in the reverse. And this Five of Cups can have to do with disappointment, but it more in this deck, it has to do with matters of circumstance. So the card is in the reverse, showing that you probably have a good deal of control, actually, over whatever this matter of circumstance represents. And up at the top of this card, we have the word parents. So, whereas when this card is reversed, they're talking about things that would be under the Equal Employment Opportunity Act, like race, religion, creed, sexual orientation. That's what they mean by heritage here. But when we're talking about parents, that literally means the circumstances into which you were born. So there might be things about that that have been holding you back at this time, but these are things that you would have much more immediate control over, whereas things related to heritage, like the place or time of your birth, you don't really have as much control over that. Crossing this, we have this card, which is elemental energy of water. Has to do with the order of things. So the sun causing the plants to grow. It's kind of about the relationship between the sun and growing things on the earth, the order of things, the plants. So there is a natural order in place here. Uh, this could literally have to do with your parents aging, and that you either need to spend more time around them or help them with more things because they are coming to this point in their life. Plants do have a life cycle. Some of them are uh, annuals, some of them are perennials. Some plants live a very short time, some plants live a very long time. And so I feel like that is something that is kind of um, that you have to address at this particular point in your life. This is extra appropriate. I know many Tauruses have a green thumb and actually do tend to plants. So this could also be a representation of nurturing the things in your environment, in the place where you live. It could have to do with parents, but it could also have to do with your home. It could have to do with, you know, where you can afford to live, um, the things that you're able to afford to have based on how you have been able to develop in your own life from the circumstances into which you were born. Down here in the MMCLI, we are talking about the things that are eventually going to lead to the goal or destiny events that we see occurring in the midheaven. So what we have in the MMCLI, this would be part of the current affairs, is the Three of Cups. And the Three of Cups is about close friendships. It's about the alliances that you form with people in your life. So this wouldn't be necessarily like one-on-one partnerships. This is more like a small group of people you surround yourself with, that kind of an alliance, so that you're all working together toward this common goal. You're all good friends, and you are all supporting each other. We have another card about the natural order of things here, which is the birds and the fish. And this word means help. So, from your perspective, this is what is going on for you in the current state of affairs. That you are very much invested in the natural order of things. I can see that. That is a very Taurian state to be in. We also remember here with this card about Astrantia. It was inviting you to ask for help when you need it and not to just founder away into the darkness. It's okay to embrace the darkness, but not to give into it. So if you do need to ask for help at this time, I think that you are finding ways to do that. Here, from an outsider's perspective, we have the Ace of Cups, and this card is showing up in the upright. So, this is about new emotional beginnings. It can be about inner growth. It can be about meeting new people. So you might have needed to form this close group somewhat quickly, and gathered more people around you. But people around you see this emotional renewal within you. This can also be a connection to higher power, to source, driving this spiritual or emotional renewal within you. Or people might have been observing you from afar and now they're coming closer. They want to become friends with you. Here in the future, we have the Page of Cups, and this card is showing up in the reverse. This could be an offer coming in that you don't see yet, because this is in the future. So the potential is there for this card to then become upright. But we also see penchant means leaning. So the figure is leaning quite a bit. You could be leaning towards something. You could be the one making the offer. And that would be in the future. And it could be an offer of friendship. It could be an offer of help. It could be an offer of support. It could be an offer of nurturing. We do have a lot of cups here. We've got the Three of Cups. We've got this Ace of Cups. And now we also have this Page of Cups. So there's a lot of good water sign nurturing energy here in the reading. Taurus, I don't know if you have any water sign placements, but that is a possibility. Oh, and the Five of Cups, of course, as well. Here in the hopes and fears, we have the Four of Swords, and it's in the upright. So you could be hoping for a time of rest. You could be hoping for some time by yourself. That's also possible. But most of all, the Four of Swords is about rest, rejuvenation, and healing. So that could be something that you desire at this time. Remember, down in your perspective, we have, the birds and the fish. So there might be and of course, this card about the natural order of the growing of plants. There could be medicinal plants that you have thought about starting to use, something like that. I use mugwort quite a bit for different things. I've heard mugwort tea baths are very lovely. That might be something, Taurus, that you would like to try. Here in the midheaven position, so this is going to be the result of this Three of Cups action down here in the MMC lie. We have the King of Pentacles. And he's showing up reversed, which can be a vicious person. But remember, too, that this is like in the future. This is goal and destiny energy. So this King of Pentacles, Taurus, could actually be you. And King of Pentacles energy doesn't necessarily mean that it is a man or a woman or a non-binary person. It's a masculine sort of an energy, but moreover, it is the elemental energies of air and earth combined. So we have the lofty ideas of the air combined with the grounding elements and material success of earth. And because this is showing up in the reverse in the future, that is a potential energy that you will be able to tap into, Taurus. And it might have something to do with this offer that's made, whether this is an offer made to you or whether this is an offer that you end up making to somebody else, that this is going to create financial stability and success for you. And here in the final outcome, Taurus, we have the Two of Cups in the reverse. So again, this could be the result of this offer being extended, that we have this love relationship coming in. Now, this would be in the future. You might not have met this person yet, or you might be meeting this person. You might be getting to know this person currently. They might have been somebody that has recently come into your close friend group. But you might start to get very close to them on a one-on-one basis. You might have thought of asking them out. Or for some reason, you might have even, because of some darkness, thought about reaching out to them or had them reach out to you for help. That's also possible. That they would reach out to you for help, and through that bonding, you would grow quite close. So, Taurus, I think that will conclude your reading for this week. I'm going to turn the Taurus cards over, and then we will get into the sign of Virgo. And of course, this can be Virgo, sun, moon, or rising. And Virgo, just allow any of your concerns to float up into the forefront of your thoughts. Allow them to wait there patiently. Don't fret over them. Don't have any undue anxiety. Take a few nice, deep cleansing breaths. As you inhale, imagine the white light of Source filling your body. And then as you exhale, just sigh out any stress, any tension, anything that you've been holding on to of negative vibration that you're ready to release. And I'm also going to pull one of these flower magic cards for you guys, Virgos. Yeah, I think that is the one. Virgo, the card that I have for you today is Kardia, which is about concealment. You can see that this person here is all wrapped up in this kind of toga-like sheet. A toga-like sheet. So what this card has to say is that somebody is not telling you the whole truth. There are misdeeds afoot. Seek them out. Hidden truths tend to fester and reappear at the most inappropriate moments. It's like when you play telephone and what the person originally says ends up getting twisted and convoluted into something that's completely untrue. Someone is pulling the wool over your eyes and trying to keep you from finding out what really happened. But you're going to have to take off the blanket and reveal the truth of the situation to keep it from getting completely out of hand. You might need to poke some sleeping bears or go into uncomfortable areas, but you have to find out what is going on for real before it blows up in your face. Excuse me. The flower is useful in your magical workings to cover up something you don't want to be found or seen, And you can also use it to uncover the truth in situations. It has a powerful fiery sun energy, so you can use it in solar magic. And it offers the magical properties of survival, strength, confidence, and resourcefulness. All right, so let me write down your timestamp really quick. And we will start in the past for you, Virgo. So in the past, we have the 10 of Cups, and this is in the reverse. Sometimes the 10 of Cups is the ending of an emotional cycle. When I see it in the past like this, it can represent an amicable split in a relationship. The 10 of Cups like this could also be the attainment of emotional satiety and satisfaction. And that now you are coming out of this energy and moving on into new and exciting horizons. Because time marches ever onward, right? Time waits for no man. Here in the current situation, we have the 9 of Wands in the reverse. That you could be letting your guard down. And we do see that on this deck, the 9 of Wands reversed also has to do with taking action. Taking action. So this would be forward motion in your life. Here we have it crossed by the 6 of Pentacles. So you could be getting a present of money. The 6 of Pentacles in the upright also represents the ebb and flow of money coming into your life and flowing back out again to pay bills and such. But that it's flowing, it's moving like the tide. So you know that as money flows out for different expenses, money will also be returning to you. On some versions of the 6 of Pentacles, we do see a figure holding a scale. So not necessarily that the 6 of Pentacles is as much about balance, but understanding that there is a certain balance to the ebb and flow that we experience in our material wealth. Here in the Imam Silai, this position in the reading talks about situations going on in your current environment that are going to be leading directly to your destiny, to what we see when we get to the midheaven position. I do read the cards as though there is a wheel of the 12 houses kind of laid out upon them in some ways. But I'm very flexible with that. That's just one more tool that I like to use with my readings. So what we have down here in the Imam Silai is this card having to do with Eve in the Garden of Eden. This is a little bit like the Lover's card in this deck, but it's not quite the same. It is about a choice that she is making to be seduced by the serpent and to bite of the apple of truth. So where we see at the top, we see Atela, right? I mentioned at the beginning, this is actually the card that I used as the example, that this is a name for God. So the reason that Eve wants to bite the apple is because she wants to be close to God. Now, the thing about the Garden of Eden is that Adam and Eve were already very close to God when they were living there. And that trying to get any closer to him was an infringement. It was overstepping their boundaries. They already had everything that they could have possibly wanted, including the perfect relationship with their higher power. So when Eve was tempted to try to get closer to the higher power, it was an infringement. But now we are so far away that for us to attempt to reach that higher power is not frowned upon the way it was in the Garden of Eden, if that makes any sense. So where we see this card upright, we are dealing with situations where we are trying to make choices to attain our higher self. But then when we see this card in the reverse, there might be some selfish motivations here. There might be a lack of clarity regarding choices. There might be temptations also going on here. That perhaps you know the right way to go, but there are things that are going to be tempting you that you are going to have to disregard in order to reach your higher self and raise your vibration. Here we're going to look at your perspective on the current situation. And we have the Two of Wands reversed. So Virgo, we see the word surprise here. The Two of Wands is about planning. So where it's showing up in the reverse, you might feel like you haven't done enough planning, like you haven't seen what is coming for you. Here in this is an outsider's perspective on the situation. And this could be seen a bit like the Chariot, maybe, a bit like the Emperor, but it's not really like either of those cards. As I mentioned, this is an Atala style deck, so the cards are quite a bit different in the major arcana. And here we see dissension. So this person is a colonizer. You can see they're bringing the elements of the colonizing country's monarchy. And we see here the African despot. So this could be a French colonizer bringing dissension, sowing seeds of dissent among different peoples in order to reap the benefits of that dissent, to destabilize places. So others might see you as someone who is sowing seeds of dissent at this time. And this is a very interesting energy for you, Virgo. It's not a very Virgo type of energy, honestly. This could be a situation that you're dealing with as well. That people are encouraging you, they're tempting you into these situations. And others see you perhaps as an agent by which they can accomplish destabilization in a certain situation. And this, again, might take you totally by surprise. Concealment is a very Virgo trait. So there might be things that you are hiding at this time. The surprise might be a surprise that you are getting ready to spring on somebody, but it could be that you end up surprised by this whole situation. Here in the future, we have the Nine of Cups, and it's upright. So this is a card of wish fulfillment and victory. But remember, we had this 10 of Cups in the reverse in the past. So in a way, the Nine of Cups is almost a step backward. So for you at this time, Virgo, I feel like there are going to be certain things that lead to wish fulfillment, but it's going to require you taking a step back. Um, and there's definitely going to be some evaluation that needs to be done. Now, I don't see the Seven of Swords here, but we don't necessarily need it here because we do have this card about concealment, and it might not be outright deception of you. It might not be you trying to accomplish deception, and it might not be somebody who's trying to deceive anybody. They might be concealing information. So, deception rather by omission. There might not be active defraudment going on against you, but again, you might be used as an agent for someone else to wield control over a situation, like we've been seeing here, and you might not be aware of that. So here in the hopes and fears, we have another nine, this time the Nine of Pentacles. So because we have this Nine of Pentacles here in the hopes and fears, and we have the Nine of Cups in the future, this wish fulfillment could be about financial stability. That's what this Nine of Pentacles means, is that financial stability and financial independence, more importantly. Now we're going to get into the midheaven. So this is going to be the result of what we saw down here in the Imam Silai, that perhaps somebody is playing to your baser emotions at this time and trying to tempt you with something possibly. And we see this Five of Wands in the reverse. So process can be about red tape. The Five of Wands is a card of rivalries. It can be creative rivalries. It is in the future. So this could be a situation that you're about to go into. Hi, countries of the world. Thank you for stopping by. It's good to see you. This could be about a situation where you are training for something. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that very much. It is in the reverse, however. So it could be in the reverse because we're looking at it as a future energy. It could be in the reverse because we're about to walk into a situation with this crabs in the bucket mentality. And especially what we were seeing down here, that somebody perhaps is playing to your baser emotions in order to wield control over a situation. They might be setting something up so that a lot of people are going to be kind of fighting with each other for something in particular, and making sure that no one person gets too far ahead of the others, right? So watch out for that, Virgo. And the final outcome, Virgo, for your reading today is the Ten of Swords. And this Ten of Swords, you can see up here at the top, I think that word is tears. But the Ten of Swords is an ending, and it can be a very painful ending. But I have also found that in cases where the ending really needs to happen, it's actually not that painful at all. It can be quite a relief. So whatever is going on here, I do think, Virgo, that you will be coming out to the advantage, but do be very careful about getting into these situations where there's a lot of competition going on and people are really jockeying for position, and one person might really be trying to play people off of each other. And if that's you, good luck. I hope it works out for you. But it's not the higher vibrational thing to do, and it would be a step back from this to be certain. So Virgo, that is going to conclude your reading for this week. And now we will be moving on to the sign of Capricorn. Capricorn, Capricorn, Capricorn. So Capricorn, if you would, just take a deep breath in and inhale the beautiful white light of Source, and then use that breath for cleansing, and just kind of sigh out any troubles you've been having, any conflict you've been holding on to, any anxiety. Allow your concerns to kind of sit there and float on the surface of your consciousness. Don't fixate upon them. We're just going to hold them there patiently to get answers from the reading. So just allow them to kind of sit there. And I'm going to turn these cards for Virgo over, and we will get into your reading, Capricorn. A lot of you just had birthdays, so happy belated birthday to the Capricorn sun signs out there. All right, interesting reading so far, coming out with some very strong major arcana cards. All right, and then I'm going to pull for you one of these Flower Magic Oracle cards. Yeah, this is the one, I think. Oh, interesting. I think it was maybe Aries got this yesterday. But we have geranium, which is about socializing, getting out and meeting people, hanging out with your friends. Now, when I record this video, is not going to be a particularly good time to be meeting up face to face with people because of global events that are occurring and unfolding as we speak. But there's plenty of socializing that can be done through text message. Social media is not ideal, but if you go on there and you kind of see what your friends are up to, then you can contact them through text message or through whatever messaging system is on that social media platform. So geranium can herald an unexpected visit from friends or family. It can mean you need to get out and about, meet new people, and socialize. You might meet interesting people, discover a long-lost friend, or even just get to know your neighbors better. So this could also be kind of getting to know your neighbors better. Think about it that way too. You might be feeling welcome in new situations or making someone else feel more welcome. Sometimes you automatically put up barriers and shields as a form of self-preservation. But you might also seem distant, cold, rude, or unfriendly if you do that. So just be mindful of your energies. So for using geraniums in magic, that's why I like the flower magic deck. Pink geraniums are good for love spells. You can add white petals of geranium to incense blends for fertility. Use the petals in spells to make you feel more confident about socializing or to bring more social events your way. And I'm just writing down your timestamp now. There we go. The timestamps are always down in the description box after the live stream. I try to get them up as quickly as possible. So, Capricorn, we have in your past a marriage. This could have been a business contract. And it looks like the marriage is currently going on, as this card has come out upright in the past. So the marriage would have been solidified in the past, but is still occurring here into the present. This is not indicative of a marriage that has ended. Here in the current state of affairs, we have this card of Judgment coming out in the reverse. Perhaps you feel you are being judged harshly in a situation. This could be inside the marriage or the business agreement that whoever you are yoked to, you might feel unduly judged by them. We do have this coupled with the card of Prudence, which is kind of like the Temperance card in this deck. And the Crossing card is always read upright. So what we're seeing here with this card is more about modesty. You can see that this woman is staring into this mirror. There is a certain amount here about practice and moderation and all of those things that go into the Temperance card, but there's more of a leaning toward this idea of prudence, modesty, and moderation. So it could be that you're judged harshly because you are not being as prudent, or it could be that the harsh judgment is on your part and you're judging others harshly because of your prudence. Or this happens too. Sometimes your prudent behavior is judged harshly by others. So any of those could be the case, and it could be within the realm of this marriage, or if this is a business agreement. This could be a contract, a binding contract between you and another person. Down here in the Imam Silai, these are the aspects of the current situation which are going to be directly impacting your destiny, which we will look at up in the midheaven. So we have here the Ace of Pentacles in the reverse. And this Ace of Pentacles showing up reversed like this could be a gift of silver. But speaking about the current state of affairs, you could have been promised that this was going to be a very lucrative situation for you, right? You could have been promised that this is going to be the beginning of a very good financial arrangement. In the case of a romantic, legal, binding contract, it could be that your partner had promised to get a job and then had not done so, and perhaps had been dishonest about it. But we won't go into that because I don't see cards about any dishonesty here. We do have, from your perspective, this Queen of Pentacles in the reverse. Now, that says bad things being certain, but more so than that, especially in this marriage, it could have been that there was a dowry expected. That's kind of an antiquated thing in some cultures, but I know other cultures do still have a lot to do with dowry and things. It could be that the partner's finances are not equitable with yours, Capricorn. And one of the Capricorn traits is that that would be kind of disagreeable to you, that your romantic partner would not be on the same footing. Another thing to do with this here is that the Queen of Pentacles is about a fertile proliferation of material wealth. It is water fertilizing the soil, right? We're watering the soil so that plants may grow and things may proliferate. But where we see this in reverse, there could also be sterility involved in this situation. If that is an aspect of your relationship that is seen as contributing to your material well-being. But these are all prospective. I hope that you'll be able to parse it out, Capricorn, as it relates to you. There's a lot there as far as prospective situations that you could be encountering. Here, from an outside person's perspective, we have the Eight of Wands, and this card is showing up in the upright. So this is going to be a swift ending to something, a finite ending, something with closure, not a necessarily painful ending. And we do see up at the top here the caption about having a day out in the countryside. Excuse me. So here in the future, we have the Ten of Pentacles showing up reversed. Now, games of chance is what it says up here at the top. So this could be about gambling. This could have been a gamble that you were taking. So even though we have this Ace of Pentacles in the reverse down here, we do see the potential for the completion of a financial cycle leading to legacy wealth. So because it's in the future, the potential is there when it's in the reverse. That perhaps this situation has more potential than you realize. That maybe this person is not very financially sound at this time, but they have the potential to be with the proper growth and development, leading to a better legacy wealth for the both of you. Here in the hopes and fears, we have the Nine of Swords. So this could be nightmares. This could be a lot of anxiety going on. And it is in the hopes and fears. So it would strictly be anxiety for the sake of anxiety. False evidence appearing real is something that Queen Amun-Ra Tarot says. So this is just strictly the anxiety associated with things showing up in the position that talks about hopes and fears. That you're worrying too much, perhaps, about something that you really shouldn't be worried about at all. Up here in the midheaven position, so as a result of this Ace of Pentacles in the reverse, we do have the Five of Swords, and it's showing up upright. So this is a victory in a situation, but it is not a decisive victory on account of the people you alienate along the way. This is outright war. And so you are going to end up losing friends by pressing this issue. And you can see that clearly. And I think that's why you would get a card like this, Capricorn. Now, we've gotten this far into the reading. The roles could very well be reversed. It could be that you are the one who is being put into this situation with this person. And whatever the case may be, you, Capricorn, will be the one who is victorious in this situation, but it is going to cost you that relationship. And that might not have been your choice. Here in the final outcome position as well, we have the Six of Wands. So there is victory to be had. We do have some very good cards here for that, as far as the Ten of Pentacles. The Five of Swords is not an awesome card, but it's still a good card to get in the context of this reading. So this Six of Wands, where it's showing up in reverse, the potential is there for you, Capricorn, to experience victory in this situation. But it's going to depend on how everything plays out. And the Six of Wands is a much better card of victory than the Five of Swords. So it's something where perhaps dependent on your reaction to how this Five of Swords situation plays out, there might be room to mend that relationship further down the road, or that not having that person in your life anymore also may be its own blessing. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for everyone who joined me today for this reading. You are always greatly, greatly, greatly appreciated. So now I'm going to go over to the members side of the channel and I will be doing the Crystal Scrying extended readings. And I do hope that you enjoyed this video today. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. All of those are free for you.